Believe it or not, this planet is full of animals that enjoy being drunk and high. For most people, being drunk and high is seen as something that's only associated with humans. But as I covered in a recent video, there are plenty of animals that seek out drugs and alcohol. In that video, I only really scratched the surface, as there are plenty of animals that have drug and alcohol problems. In some of these cases, animals can become addicted to drugs, and it can negatively affect their health. In other cases, it's just a way for the animals to enjoy themselves, and it has little to no negative effects. In this video, I will be going through just a few of these stories, as I will be going through 3 animals that can't stop getting drunk and high. And for our first animal, we will be heading over to Africa, as I will be focusing on both the African bush elephant and the African forest elephant. African elephants are the largest living land animals, but their size is only one of the interesting things about them. Elephants are very complex creatures and are highly social and intelligent. They demonstrate behaviours that some of us view as unique to humans, such as compassion, kindness, and grief. They are known to coordinate with each other to help a sick or injured individual, and researchers have found that when an elephant becomes distressed, other nearby elephants will respond with calls and touches. As well as being very intelligent creatures, they are also highly adapted creatures, with giant ears to help them get rid of excess heat, and an all-purpose limb that helps them deal with almost every single task. Their trunks are used to help them eat and drink, but are also used as snorkels, and a way to distribute natural sunscreen. Because elephants are so large, it's no surprise that they have to get through a lot of food in a day, with some consuming up to 150 kilograms. They're known to feed on a whole host of plants, but in most cases they favour something fruity. One of the fruits they go after is known as the Marula fruit, and this fruit can be found in woodlands across southern Africa. This fruit is full of vitamin C, and when ripe it is described as succulent and tart with a strong distinctive flavour. As I covered in a recent video on this topic, moose in Europe and North America like to get drunk by eating fermented apples. The story with the African elephants is very similar, but instead of apples they feed on fermented marula fruit. As elephants are quite complicated creatures, they can act quite strangely at the best of times, but after feeding on fermented marula fruit they sway from side to side and run around aimlessly. Elephants are known to be very fond of alcohol, as Asian elephants in India will steal rice beer from humans, and in some cases after this they will go on a drunken rampage. Elephants in captivity have also proven to be very fond of alcohol, so this might explain why they're so fond of the marula fruit. After people first started claiming that elephants were getting drunk after eating fermented marula fruit, scientists started debunking this claim. It's thought that elephants would have to get through a substantial amount to get drunk as they are so large, but recent research may have debunked the debunk. If elephants had the same alcohol tolerance as us humans, they would have to eat a stupid number of marula fruit, but it's thought that elephants are more sensitive to alcohol than us humans. Humans, chimpanzees and gorillas have an unusually high tolerance for alcohol, and this is because of a shared genetic mutation. This mutation helps us to metabolize ethanol 40 times faster than other primates, and elephants do not have this mutation. This means that a surprisingly small amount of alcohol is enough to get an elephant drunk, and the African elephants may be getting drunk on marula fruit after all. From the footage that I've seen, it certainly looks like they're drunk, and whether they get their alcohol from rice beer or from the marula fruit, it turns out that if you let them, elephants will become raging alcoholics. But for our next species, we can head to both North America and Eurasia, as we have the reindeer. Before I start, just to clear up some confusion, the caribou and the reindeer are the same animal, and are mostly called reindeer in Europe and caribou in North America. The reindeer is a deer species that's mostly found in Arctic conditions, and it is very well adapted to colder temperatures. They have thick fur and hair covering their nose to keep them warm, and they are one of the few mammals that can see in ultraviolet light. This can help them spot food and predators more clearly in the blaring light of the Arctic, and it can also help them when there are long periods of darkness in the Arctic. Reindeer are grazers and feed on a wide variety of mosses, herbs, ferns and grasses. One species of lichen that they feed on is even named after them, but sometimes this diet is not interesting enough for them, and they start looking for something a little more fun. Fly agaric mushrooms almost look like mushrooms out of a cartoon, and are found in temperate and boreal regions of the northern hemisphere. Sometimes reindeer come across these mushrooms, and they're more than happy to gobble them up. It turns out that these mushrooms are hallucinogenic, and are also highly toxic to us humans. Strangely, the reindeer can stomach them, and they seem to find them a bit moreish. After reindeer have had a taste of these mushrooms, they go hunting for more, and they are known to purposely seek them out. After consuming these mushrooms, they behave drunkenly and run about aimlessly, making strange noises. To be honest, it sounds like they have a great time when they consume these mushrooms, but us humans don't have to be left out. Reindeer herders in some parts of Europe and Asia have collected reindeer urine, and it is possible to get high off the urine of a reindeer that's eaten these mushrooms. This is a safer way of consuming this hallucinogen as the mushrooms are toxic, and even though it seems a little strange, it might be worth it. Reindeer have really proven to be fond of magic mushrooms, and even though not all reindeer can fly, I'm sure they'll be able to once they've consumed some of these mushrooms. But for our final species, we will be heading back over to North America, as we have the bighorn sheep. The bighorn sheep is a species of sheep native to North America, and as you might be able to guess, it's named for its very large horns. These horns can weigh around 14 kilograms, and as one of these sheep typically weigh around 140 kilograms, their horns account for around 10% of their overall weight. Of course, these giant horns aren't just for show, as the males will use them in combat as they violently butt each other. These sheep can be found all the way from Canada to Mexico, and are usually found in mountainous alpine environments. There are 3 distinct subspecies of bighorn sheep, of which one is endangered. Although this is saddening information, it used to be a lot worse, as in the years from 1870 to 1950, unregulated hunting, habitat destruction and diseases led to a massive decline in bighorn sheep numbers. Thanks to conservation and reintroductions, their numbers are looking more healthy nowadays, but they still aren't as strong as they used to be. So far, the stories about drugs and animals have been quite strange and fun, but when it comes to the bighorn sheep, the story gets quite sad. Of course, there are plenty of negatives when it comes to drug use with humans, and it's the same story with our fellow mammals. For the bighorn sheep, their vice isn't alcohol or magic mushrooms, but is instead narcotic lichen. The lichen that they feed on is generally a yellowy-greeny colour and grows on rocks in the mountains of North America. The bighorn sheep are known to suck on these rocks, and will even grind on rocks with their teeth to get their fix. After feeding on the lichen, they appear ill or almost a bit mad, and it seems to be a mind-altering substance. The bighorn sheep is usually a social creature, and individuals don't often stray from the herd, but to get at this lichen they are known to be risk takers, and will put themselves in dangerous situations just to get more lichen. These sheep often risk their lives just to get this drug, and it also has negative effects on their physical health. Because they grind on rocks to get at this lichen, it can be very bad for their teeth, and in some cases they wear them down completely to the gum. For many bighorn sheep, it does seem like this drug use is an addiction, and it can be hard to see them suffer. So even though these sheep seem to enjoy being high, it's not the best thing for them. Even though I've been through more creatures that like being drunk and high, once again I have only really scratched the surface. If you want to see a part 3, then let me know down in the comments below, because I'm more than happy to make it. But until then, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. But until next time, goodbye.